What if love could destroy you and still be the only reason to fight? In a world where dragons rule the skies and betrayal cuts deeper than any blade, every heartbeat is a choice between survival and surrender. This is Onyx Storm, the book shaking millions on BookTok and BookTube. A storm of war, of love, of impossible choices. Don't blink. The storm has begun. Rebecca Yarros was born in 1981 in Colorado, United States. She is a best-selling American author, best known for her ability to weave emotion, romance, and resilience into gripping narratives. Her background as a military spouse has shaped her perspective, giving her stories a unique depth. Themes of love, sacrifice, and survival often emerge in her writing. Rebecca's breakthrough came with her celebrated Empyrean series, beginning with Fourth Wing, followed by Iron Flame, and now Onyx Storm. This series has ignited the imagination of millions of readers worldwide. The books blend fantasy, romance, and the timeless battle between duty and desire. Her style captures the vulnerability of human hearts, even in the face of impossible odds. Onyx Storm, the third installment, is not just a continuation. It is a storm of passion, loyalty, and betrayal. The book dives deeper into the complexities of Violet Sorengale and Xaden Riorson, two characters whose bond has become iconic. This story challenges the reader to question love, trust, and the sacrifices demanded by power. It portrays a world at war where dragons soar and survival depends on courage and conviction. Every choice carries weight, every decision has consequences, and the storm reveals truths that cannot be hidden. Rebecca Yarros offers more than entertainment. She delivers an exploration of human emotion under fire. She shows how hope survives even when the night grows darker. Through her words, readers feel the heat of battle, the ache of longing, and the fragile beauty of trust. With Onyx Storm, Yarros cements her place as a leading voice in modern romantasy. Her storm invites us all to step inside and discover the light within shadows. What if love could destroy you and still be the only reason to fight? This question echoes at the heart of Onyx Storm. It sets the tone for a tale where devotion becomes both salvation and weapon. Rebecca Yarros has already led readers through two unforgettable books. Fourth Wing introduced Violet Sorengale, fragile yet fierce, forced into a deadly academy where dragons choose riders. She was underestimated, doubted, and nearly broken. But Violet discovered strength in vulnerability and courage in her own fragile bones. Iron Flame continued her journey, raising the stakes. The world widened, secrets were revealed, and the bond between Violet and Xaden deepened. The battles grew larger, and the cost of loyalty became unbearable. Trust was shaken, alliances tested, and the flames burned hotter. By the time Onyx Storm begins, readers stand at the edge of a precipice. The storm is not only outside, in the battles and skies, but within. It is the storm of the heart, where love and duty clash. It is the storm of truth, where betrayal can strike deeper than any blade. This third installment refuses to be gentle. It pushes every character into the tempest of choice. It reminds us that growth requires loss, and that the most powerful bonds are forged in fire. For new readers, Onyx Storm carries the echoes of the past, but strikes with fresh thunder. For longtime followers, it is the culmination of all the tension, pain, and passion that Rebecca Yarros has built. It is a storm that spares no one. The story unfolds in Basquiat, a realm torn by war and haunted by secrets. It is a place where dragons soar, their wings casting shadows over kingdoms in turmoil. Power is fragile, leaders grasp at control, and soldiers bleed for causes they barely understand. Violet Sorrengail stands at the center of this storm. Once frail, now formidable, she carries scars that shape her courage. Her journey has been one of fire, pain, and resilience. Beside her stands Xaden Riorson, dark and enigmatic, bound by love, yet chained by his past. Together, they navigate a political landscape as treacherous as any battlefield. Allies whisper lies, enemies strike unseen, and loyalty can vanish with a single choice. The academy that forged them now feels like a memory, distant and naive. The real war is here, beyond the walls, where survival is no longer training, but truth. In Onyx Storm, the air itself feels heavy with tension. Every horizon hides a threat. Every word may conceal betrayal. Even the bonds between riders and dragons tremble under the weight of uncertainty. Yarros paints this world with urgency and color. The sky crackles with danger, yet the heart longs for tenderness. Dragons roar, battles rage, but the deepest conflict lies within the human soul. Basgiath becomes more than a setting. It is a mirror of the storm inside Violet and Xaden, a world where power tempts, truth wounds, and love alone dares to stand unbroken. The shadows here are not just enemies. They are the echoes of choices yet to come. Love in Onyx Storm is not soft. It is fierce, consuming, and dangerous. For Violet and Xaden, love is both sanctuary and battlefield. Their connection is undeniable yet fragile. It is tested by secrets, strained by choices, and threatened by betrayal. Trust becomes the rarest currency. Every look hides questions. Every silence carries weight. Violet longs to believe, yet fear whispers in her heart. Xaden fights his own shadows, carrying burdens he cannot fully share. Betrayal slashes deeper than any sword. It comes not only from enemies, but from those closest to the heart. Alliances shift, promises shatter, and even love itself wavers under the storm. Yet Yarros does not portray love as weakness. Instead, she shows its power to heal, to ignite, and to endure. Even in the midst of lies, the bond between Violet and Xaden burns. Their intimacy is raw, scarred, and real. It reflects the truth of love, that to give yourself fully is to risk devastation. Readers feel the ache of doubt and the beauty of surrender. They witness the dance of trust and fear. They see that love, when chosen again and again, becomes the bravest act of all. In Onyx Storm, betrayal teaches that love is not blind. It sees the scars, the mistakes, and the pain. And still, it chooses. Still, it fights. Still, it believes. Love becomes the storm and the shelter, the reason to fall and the reason to rise again. Beyond love lies war. Basgiath trembles under the clash of armies and the roar of dragons. Survival is no longer a lesson, but a desperate fight. Every choice matters. Every breath could be the last. Violet faces not only enemies in battle, but the weight of leadership. Her decisions carry lives in their balance. Her scars are not only physical, but carved deep within her spirit. War demands strength, yet it also demands sacrifice. The battlefield is relentless. Friends fall, foes strike without warning, and the cost of survival grows unbearable. Yarros spares no comfort in describing this storm. The world is cruel, and death waits without mercy. Yet survival is more than endurance. It is the refusal to surrender. It is the fire that refuses to be extinguished. For Violet, every wound becomes proof of resilience. For Xaden, every battle is both shield and chain. Together they learn that war is not just fought with swords. It is fought in the will to rise, again and again. It is fought in the heart, where hope struggles against despair. The storm of war strips away illusions. It reveals what matters most. Not glory, not titles, but the simple truth of being alive, together, for one more day. Survival becomes defiance, and in that defiance, a new strength is born. Power in Onyx Storm is never free. It tempts, corrupts, and divides. Every character is forced to confront the price of holding it and the pain of losing it. Violet learns that power is not only strength of body or magic, it is strength of will, the courage to stand alone, the wisdom to choose. Her journey becomes a mirror of leadership, where every choice ripples outward. Her power lies not in domination, but in resilience. Xaden faces his own reckoning. His past, his loyalties, and his hidden truths demand decisions that could break him. His love for Violet collides with his duty, forcing him to ask, what is worth more, the cause or the heart? The storm rages around them, yet the fiercest battles happen within. Power reveals character. It strips away masks. It demands clarity of soul. Yarros writes these choices with intensity. Readers feel the weight of hesitation, the sting of regret, the fire of conviction. Every yes carries a no. Every victory brings a cost. The message becomes clear. Power is not about control. It is about responsibility. It is about the willingness to face consequences. It is about choosing, even when every choice brings pain. In the tempest of Onyx Storm, characters discover that the greatest power is not in commanding others. It is in mastering themselves. It is in daring to choose again and again despite the storm. Choices define them, and choices will decide who survives. Onyx Storm is more than fantasy. It is a mirror of human struggle. Through dragons and battles, Yarros speaks to the truths of life. The first theme is love as resilience. Even when fractured, it remains the force that carries Violet forward. It shows that love is not fragile sentiment, but fire, fierce and enduring. The second theme is betrayal. It reminds us that trust is rare, that even in closeness, lies can lurk. But it also shows that forgiveness is possible, and that healing requires courage. The third theme is survival. Every scar becomes proof that life is worth fighting for. Every loss sharpens the will to rise again. And finally, the theme of choice. The storm is a metaphor for the crossroads of life. Every reader can see themselves in Violet's dilemma. Do we yield to fear, or do we stand in defiance? Yarros inspires through her character's pain and triumph. She crafts a world of magic, but her truths are human. We all face storms. We all carry burdens. We all long for meaning within chaos. Onyx Storm whispers that storms are not only destruction. They cleanse. They awaken. They reveal what cannot be hidden. Through love, through loss, through impossible choices, the book reminds us, even in the darkest skies, there is a light that cannot be extinguished. And that light is the heart's unyielding flame. As Onyx Storm closes, readers are left with more than a story. They are left with a reflection of themselves. The storm outside becomes a mirror of the storm within. Violet and Xaden's journey is not just about dragons or war. It is about love that survives betrayal. It is about courage that rises from weakness. It is about choices that shape destiny. Rebecca Yarros delivers not only adventure, but philosophy. Her words remind us that love is worth the risk, even when it wounds. That survival is noble, even when it scars. That power is responsibility, even when it hurts. The conclusion does not tie every thread neatly. Instead, it leaves space for reflection. Readers are invited to carry the questions into their own lives. What storms are you facing? What choices will you make? What love will you fight for, even when it breaks you? The magic of Onyx Storm lies not in fantasy alone, but in its resonance with reality. Its dragons may be myth, but its truths are eternal. Pain, trust, resilience, hope, these are storms we all know. Rebecca Yarros has crafted a tale both epic and intimate, a story that sweeps across skies, yet whispers directly to the heart. In her storm, we find courage. In her storm, we find meaning. And in her storm, we find ourselves. The tempest ends, but its echoes remain, calling us to rise, to love, and to face our storms unafraid.